Hi guys, Overarch here, and today we're going to talk about something that pains me. We're going to talk about why Fortnite Save the World is dying, and why it's such a shame because the game has such potential. So within the last week or two, I've noticed that finding a full team for online play has become much more difficult, even though I really haven't progressed into new areas or anything like that in the game. I'm currently at power level 25, which is about a quarter of the way through the quest line and through the game, and finding players on anything other than quick match setting is becoming difficult, whereas previously, a month or two ago, no matter what mission I chose, I would pretty easily find a full team to play with. Also, if you go to the forums or Reddit for this game, it's basically a constant dumpster fire of people that are angry with the devs for some pretty legitimate reasons. I feel like this game is being mismanaged to death, and I want to talk about why that is, and hopefully what the devs can do different to fix that. Keep in mind, this is all my opinion here. You might agree, you might disagree with me, and that's fine. We can talk about it down in the comments below. So the first is technical problems, specifically the destruction of player inventories and unfair compensation. So the devs previously promised to never reset progression, and, well, they did. So weapons in the game are acquired via loot boxes. The weapons are random, and in addition to that, they have random, basically, perks, random stats. The DPS is always the same, but as you level them up, they get different effects. And those are random and have different rarity levels, in addition to the rarity level of the actual weapon itself. So as you can see, there's a lot of randomness to this, and a lot of people had grinded out, bought a lot of these loot boxes, either with real money or with the in-game currency, which fortunately is pretty easy to earn, and the devs decided to reset this. So many people lost their really rare, really powerful weapon schematics that they had grinded to acquire, including those with real money. Now, this was part of a balanced pass, and you could say that yes, the game still is in early access. Yes, the game is going to require tweaking, but it really does kind of feel like the devs have gone back on their promise, and I think this really soured a lot of people's impression of the game. So next up, we go to unfair compensation. So there were players that lost their inventory, their whole inventory was deleted. And this is terrible for a loot-based shooter like Fortnite. So as compensation for this, a lot of these players were given what were basically god-tier weapons. Weapons that were maximum level, maximum everything, maximum stats, all rare, perks, all rare, ridiculous. And this left a lot of people feeling sour because people that had even bought, the $200 backers edition didn't get weapons like that. So you have people that basically got unlucky, got a bug, and now they're suddenly more powerful than the people that spent $200 on the game, and a lot of people weren't happy with that. And we're going to come back to that $200 backers edition in a minute too. Next up, and this one's really bad, rampant account hacking problem. Specifically, the auto-saving of payment options without warning, which means that many people have had their bank accounts charged for hundreds of dollars after their account got hacked. The hackers would then try to quickly sell off their account after buying, $500 worth of stuff on the account. And to make matters worse, there's terrible customer service. So this kind of happened to me. I used PayPal to buy the game. I was fortunately not hacked, but I had no idea that they saved my PayPal information until maybe I just missed the notification, but I had no idea until I actually saw people were getting their accounts hacked and went in and unlinked my PayPal. So if someone had gotten a hold of my account, they could have just pressed a button and charged me, hundreds of dollars. And I would have no way of getting it back because of this next point. Their customer service is terrible. Now, I have not personally dealt with their customer service, but the forums and Reddit are alight with people who have been waiting months to have tickets answered. And that is totally unacceptable with hundreds of dollars on the line after, say, your account gets hacked. In fact, many have even resorted to chargebacks to get their money back because there's no other way of getting their money back after their account was hacked. And remember that $200 edition we talked about earlier? It was supposed to come with friends codes, and I've heard complaints that a lot of people haven't gotten those friend codes, haven't gotten those free copies of the game, and they've been waiting months for them, and they're just not getting them. For whatever reason, bug, they didn't get them, and they can't contact support. So it's really unacceptable that a company that's made a huge amount of money off of the Battle Royale version of this game is not going to be willing to support their actual played version. And this brings me to my next big point: prioritization of the free Battle Royale mode over the paid Save the World mode. So more and more resources have been going to Battle Royale over Save the World, and that makes sense. Battle Royale is their cash cow. Battle Royale actually came out after Save the World to kind of capitalize on the Battle Royale hype. So the concerns that people have with this is that the development of Save the World is so slow, while Battle Royale is developing incredibly quickly. It's very obvious what's making them more money, and it's very obvious where they're putting all the resources. Now, for a company, that does make sense. They're, of course, going to put more resources to what's going to make them more money. But that does leave a sour taste in the mouths of the people who paid for Save the World, who basically feel like they've been abandoned. The biggest complaints are that there's no priority queue, so people who paid have to wait in line with or behind the free-to-play Battle Royale players because their servers can only handle so many logons at a time. Next is that you have skins from Battle Royale getting ported over to Save the World without any gameplay changes. And that's fine, but it feels totally half-assed. They're not even making any changes for Save the World. A totally different game. Next, you have the snail's pace of content updates. While Battle Royale constantly has a new mode, constantly has new shiny things, constantly has new skins for it, it just feels like Save the World is getting abandoned. And this is compounded by a lot of the issues that have been in since day one in Save the World, some of which are really problematic. For example, you get XP just for completing the mission. So what a lot of players will do is they will AFK in a game in which you're supposed to have 4 people, and they leave their team with only 3 people, and they still get full XP, full compensation. There's no way to kick them. There's no auto disconnect for inactivity. It's just, it's triggering me. It is something that should have been addressed day one, and it's still in the game. It just feels like nothing's being done. And while the devs do occasionally respond to people's complaints on the forums, nothing's happening. So, now that I've finished ranting, I'm going to talk about why I think this is. I think the developers are doing the best they can. However, I think they just don't have any resources. I think all of the resources are going to Battle Royale. All the developers have been shifted over to Battle Royale. And none of them are really working on Save the World anymore. Save the World is, the kind of like Paragon, the abandoned stepchild of Fortnite. And that really sucks for people that shelled out for it, because the game is fun and it has such potential. Now, if you were to ask me, would I recommend this game? I still have to say yes, because if you enjoy looting shooters, yeah, you're going to like this game, and it's still fun. That being said, I wouldn't spend $200 on it. I would spend between $10 to $15 on it, if that. And keep in mind, it is going free to play this year, and you can tell it's a real grindy game, but some people like that. I think that's perfectly fine in this type of looting shooter. So you might just want to wait for free to play, and hopefully that breathes new life into the game and pumps up those player numbers, reduces the queue times, and everything else. So I hope it works out, because it should be a better game than it is, and it's just so frustrating seeing something with such potential fail to meet it. So as always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed. If you disagree with me, please let me know. We can have a rational discussion on this down in the comments below, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.